most perfect memory is worth, not just emotionally, but in cold, hard cash. Today, we're diving into the meteoric rise and spectacular fall of Dreamweavers Incorporated, a company that didn't just sell a product, they sold feelings, experiences, and the very fabric of our minds. Picture this, it's the near future, and for a price, you can experience anything. Always wanted to climb Mount Everest, but hate the cold. Done. Dreamed of winning the World Cup final, feeling the roar of the crowd as you score the winning goal. Yours to own. This was the promise of Dreamweavers Inc. They perfected a technology to create and implant high fidelity, bespoke synthetic memories. These weren't just blurry daydreams. They were indistinguishable from reality. You could buy the perfect Hawaiian vacation, complete with the feeling of warm sand between your toes and the taste of salt water on your lips. You could purchase First Love, revisited, a nostalgic, idealized version of your first romance. Free of any teenage awkwardness, the business model was genius. Dreamweavers wasn't just selling a one-off experience. They were selling intellectual property rights to emotions. When you bought a memory, you were essentially licensing an emotional state. The market went absolutely wild. Investors saw infinite potential. People who bought one memory were highly likely to buy another. The desire for new, perfect experiences was insatiable. It was the ultimate consumer product because the product was happiness itself, bottled and sold. The company's valuation skyrocketed into the trillions. Financial analysts were baffled. How do you value a company whose primary assets are copyrighted emotions and patented nostalgia? Traditional metrics didn't apply. Dreamweavers owned the IP for the feeling of pure serenity and the thrill of a last-second victory. Their portfolio wasn't factories or real estate. It was the human condition, cataloged and monetized. They argued that since human desire is infinite, their potential for growth was too. They successfully created a market where experiences were commodities, just like coffee or gold. This led to some fascinating and ethically murky territory. Subscription services emerged. For a monthly fee, you could have a steady stream of positive memories implanted, effectively crowdsourcing your own happiness. Premium tiers offered exclusive, limited edition experiences, like a conversation with a historical figure or walking on Mars. Society split. There were the naturals, who believed in earning their memories the old-fashioned way, and the synthetics, who saw no difference between a real vacation and a perfectly crafted one. Debates raged. If a memory makes you happy, does its origin really matter? Is a purchased joy less valid than an earned one? Dreamweaver stock became the most valuable asset on the planet. Its executives were hailed as visionaries, pioneers of the new experiential economy. They had solved the fundamental human problem, the hedonic treadmill. No longer did you have to chase fleeting moments of happiness. You could simply buy them, install them, and relive them whenever you wanted. The company's projections showed a future where they could virtually eliminate sadness, boredom, and regret for those who could afford it. Of course, this created a new kind of social divide, not based on wealth, but on the quality of one's inner life. The entire empire was built on a single, crucial assumption that a memory, once purchased, was permanent. Repeat business was driven by the desire for new memories, not replacing old ones. database of experiences was seen as a library you could keep adding to. And for a while, that assumption held. The technology to implant memories was complex, but the idea of removing them was considered science fiction. It was thought to be as impossible as unbaking a cake. And then, the impossible happened. A small, open-source collective of biohackers, who called themselves the Leith Project, released a counter-technology. It was a simple, elegant piece of software that could be administered through a common neural interface. Its function: to specifically target and delete synthetic memories implanted by dreamweavers. They called it mind wipe. At first, dreamweavers dismissed it as a hoax. Their memory structures were encrypted, deeply woven into the user's neural pathways. But the code worked, and it spread like wildfire. Why was this so devastating? Imagine you bought the perfect vacation memory. You enjoyed it for a few months, but now you're getting a little tired of it. Before mind wipe, your only option was to buy a new memory to layer on top of it. But now, you could simply delete the vacation memory, freeing up mental space and, more importantly, saving money. The economic fallout was instantaneous and catastrophic. The core of Dreamweaver's valuation was the idea of perpetual growth in an ever-expanding library of memories in each customer's head. But mind wipe turned their product from a permanent asset into a temporary rental. Why buy a dozen different memories when you could just buy one, enjoy it, delete it, and then buy another one later? Or even worse for Dreamweavers, people could delete the memory and just live their lives. The need for constant new stimuli vanished. The market realized the truth overnight. Dreamweavers wasn't selling ownership of an experience. They were selling a temporary lease on a feeling. Their entire valuation, built on the concept of intellectual property rights to permanent emotions, evaporated. Repeat business didn't just slow down, it reversed. People weren't just not buying new memories. They were actively deleting the ones they had. The stock crashed in what is now known as the Great Unwinding. It was the fastest loss of value in corporate history. Trillions of dollars of perceived worth vanished in a matter of hours. The company that had owned happiness was suddenly bankrupt. The story of Dreamweavers Inc. serves as a powerful parable for a digital age. It's a cautionary tale about the valuation of intangible goods and the unforeseen consequences of technology. They managed to put a price tag on a feeling, but they forgot one crucial thing: the human desire for a clean slate, for the freedom to forget, is just as powerful as the desire to remember. What do you think? Is a manufactured memory of happiness just as good as a real one? And what's the next frontier for commodification? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you next time.